Catus, Maximus here. We've got the $6 Doyle electrician stubby screwdriver set. And for $6, I guess they're okay. Not entirely sure what exactly makes a stubby screwdriver an electrician screwdriver. Certainly electricians use them, but they can be handy for anybody else. So these would be Klein style knockoffs with the rubber over grips. And then they do seem to be held on pretty well. We do overmolded Doyle and some labeling on the back, acetate handles. And we'll take a closer look at the tip shape. That doesn't look too bad. It is a little bit sharp. I wouldn't say that this would be Japanese industrial standard, but it does look like an acceptable Phillips and flathead bit. Some type of treatment as well as a roughening, so I believe that would help give them a little bit of additional grip. Anyway, for $6, I think these are some good stubby screwdrivers from Hazard Fraught. We can see that the flathead does have a thicker shank than the Phillips, so this actually could be used for a bit of prying duty. Let's compare Phillips tip shapes. Since we're on that, we have a Lennox and a DeWalt Demolition Phillips screwdrivers here. And there we go. Now you can see that the Doyle it's pretty good. I really kind of like the tip shape on the DeWalt actually and on the Lennox, so it's on par. We'll say that's pretty good. I think the worst part about these is these types of overmolded handles on stubby screwdrivers. And what I've learned is, as much as I like some of these comfort handles and more rounded handles, that depends on whether or not you have a full-size handle you can grip onto or stubby. And the problem with the stubby is many times, like on a Phillips, you're going to have to really get some, if you're in a tight situation, you're going to have to put your hand over the back of the screwdriver to, so it doesn't cam out and pop out of the Phillips. And actually that does hold on to screws pretty well. Now I'm on that tip, I got some various different screws. Some of these are really, I believe this actually is a JIS. This came out of like a Makita power tool. And so it seems to be holding on to various random Phillips bits pretty well. So we'll point that out. Back on I digress. The issue is that if particularly in electrical panels, you'll be working with little screws that are like this, that have little corrugations, and sometimes those little things can get pretty stuck. And you're going to have a hard time getting a real good grip. And that's generally what I mean, for $6 from Hazard Fraught, and cheaper than that if you can get a coupon. These are nice little stubbies. But if you don't have any, I would recommend something like this Powerbuilt, which is just a big trilobular, because then when you're on top of the screw, you can get, or when your hand's over the back of the stubby, you have like these really large lobes that you can actually get a grip on and be able to apply some force and some torque. And that's actually much more difficult with one like this, because when your hand's over the top, you're not able to grab it like this. You're like this. And these little corrugations on this soft overmold, even though it's comfortable, you just can't apply much force. I mean, your hand will be slipping. And so I find when I use stubbies, it's usually ones like this, because then I can actually get a solid purchase and turn the fastener. And that is totally dealing with the compact spaces that you're running stubbies with versus full-size screwdrivers where you have full-size handles to work with. So anyway, kind of a quick review of these Harbor Freight Doyles. I do think they're pretty nice, but I don't think that they should have went with the Klein knockoff design. They should have went with stubbies, something with just a bit more of aggressive of a handle. Sorry for that cut. I went and remembered I had this little DeWalt too, so I wanted to dig it up. I think even the little DeWalt stubby is better than the Doyles, just because they have a squarish design. And so when your hand's over the top of it, you still can get a pretty darn good grip of it. And to tell you the truth, I kind of like the ergonomics of this DeWalt. It really does have a nice shape for a very compact screwdriver. So something else to compare these to. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.